Well, I had a thought. My Saturday is clear. It's a nice day, relatively speaking, here in Scotland. I'm going to go on a game hunt. I'm going to go try and hit up a few CEXs that I haven't actually been to yet, of which there aren't too many in Scotland. Let's go check them out. First up on today's adventure is we have decided to go to Dunfermline, which is a town that I've not been to too many times. I think I've only been here for football a couple of times. I mean, and then that was a long time ago. And God, that might have been about 15 years ago. It's a heck of a long time. I've never been to the CEX here, so let's go check it out. Let's go see what we can find. Heck of a lot of Pokemon games making their way in to here today. Had some bangers for the yes man, 65 quid. Look at that though. Look at the condition on those box copies. That gold's looking very nice. Very nice. Been on a bit of a Simpsons hit and run kick recently, but PC big box version for 12 quid anyone? Does actually look pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. Carlton's always nice. Carlton, that's actually pretty good. I'm going to assume the new Call of Duty is not selling well, because that is a lot of copies of COD, man, Jesus Christ. Good man, only 2 games. Granted, 2 absolute bangers, but still, only 2. You recognise that one? Die Hard Vendetta. Interesting. I think someone might have rubbed that one in the dirt. Banger of a game though, mind you. Absolute banger for 2 quid. If you've not got that, get that. CEX in Dunfermline. Pretty good stock, to be fair. A little kind of hidden away in a little shopping centre just off of the just off the high street. Staff are quite nice, to be fair. We did manage to grab a pickup. Okay, so hold that thought. That was CEX Dunfermline. I actually thought this store was pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie, I quite like this store. This was a little bit of a journey for me. It's maybe about like an hour away or something, give or take if it's a little bit busier. But nice Saturday morning. It's a nice little journey up. Reasonably well stocked, I must admit. They had a lot of pretty cool heavy hitters you'll have seen in the footage there. They have the usual kind of Pokemon games and what have you. And it was really cool to have a little flick around. Store wasn't too busy, so I was able to kind of get in and around the aisles and, you know, like actually see stuff on the shelf, which was really nice. And yeah, as much as there was a lot of things that piqued my interest, there was definitely one thing that stuck out that we had to pick up. So yeah, as you may be aware, we have been on a little bit of a Final Fantasy kick recently, where I have been trying to get a hold of all of the games for the PlayStation. And we've done reasonably well so far. Like, we've got maybe Anthology, Origins and 6 left to get from the main line. We've got the double pack coming of the FF7 remake, and then there's maybe like 1 or 2 spin-offs I want to get, maybe like Final Fantasy Reunion. We do also have Final Fantasy Type 0 that I'd like to get, because I know there's like a nice like sort of cardboard sort of slip cover for that I think would look quite nice, and I'm kind of intrigued to play it. I've been playing a little bit of Final Fantasy 1 on stream, but due to like time and being busy and what have you, I haven't got back to that. I'm hoping to try and finish that playthrough live at some point, and then in my own time I can rattle through a few of these, and then we'll get a chance to talk about FF7 or something whenever I get around. So yeah, speaking of Final Fantasy, the game that we picked up from CEX Dunfermline was Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13. Developed and published by Square Enix, this 2013 action RPG concludes the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy. It's set 500 years after the previous game, where Lightning awakens from hibernation, and they have less than 2 weeks before the world ends, where she becomes The Saviour, tasked with saving human souls so they can be reborn into a new world in exchange for reuniting with her deceased sister. Now, to me, that's a lot of words that I don't particularly understand, but that is because I have only played through most of FF1, where the characters are whatever name you give them. They haven't started bringing in a lot of the story just yet, so I know that this is going to be a good one. In terms of the price point, this is the, if I'm correct, most expensive of them sort of more quote-unquote modern era titles that aren't even the PS1 one. Like, there's a couple of PS1 titles that are actually cheaper than that. Like, I've still got Final Fantasy VI to get, which is around that price point. Anthology and Origins are like 30-40 quid each. But everything else is a lot cheaper than that. So, which makes me think that either this game might have not been that good and it's rare, we'll find out at some point, or is actually a bit of a banger and commands a bit of a price point. Let me know down in the comments which one of these this game falls into, which bucket it falls into. But hopefully it is in the bucket of this is a bit of a sleeper hit and therefore costs a few quid. We will find out. So yeah, that was CEX Dunfermline. Really, really liked that. If I was going to score that would probably be something like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. Really, really good store. Really, really friendly staff. Cannot complain. But now we'll jump back to the footage and we'll go to another one of the CEXs that I haven't hit up before in Scotland. It's a little bit of a drive. Not too much, to be fair. It's not massively far away. I do need to make a quick pit stop though, because I think I'm going to need to bring back some baked goods, so I might take you with me there as well to get that. And, so yeah, let's get cooking. Okay folks, we have got the baked goods. That will definitely make my wife a lot happier when she comes back in from work. But now onwards to CEX Perth, which isn't too far away. Never ever been before, as I say. Don't really even know where I'm going, but this could be a good laugh. Okay, so we are now in Perth. It's a bit chilly. I probably should have actually took the jacket out of the car, but we'll just we'll suffer on regardless. Let's get ourselves to CEX. Quite a little bit of a walk, not too far down this rather long street, and yeah, let's go see what we can find. CEX Perth. Now, CEX Perth, whilst the staff were friendly, and I had like a very brief interaction with some at the counter, they were all lovely nice, the shop was a little bit disappointing. I had only checked the stock checker maybe a few days beforehand, right? So I had a rough idea what the store had in it for both, and I think there was a little bit more on this, so maybe it's just a case of some orders went through and whatever the few bits and bobs that were there. I think I was after like one or two of the EA big games, you know, the video that was done previously where I am tasking myself with getting all the EA big games. I was going to try and buy some more, but I think there's maybe one or two supposed to be there and they weren't there. So I don't know if that was just like a stock thing or whatever, you know, that happens. Not a hard one to get to from Dunfermline, it's maybe like half an hour up the road. Really, really easy. But yeah, unfortunately, whilst there was plenty of space to move in and it wasn't too busy, there wasn't an awful lot on the shelves other than your usual games that you would expect to see, like your Pokemons or whatever, the ones that the CEX quite often use to reel you in, to get you in the door, to go from there. Those are quite a nice display actually on the window of the games that they had, which was pretty nice. And to be fair, there is a couple of Pokemon games we're still after. There is a few that we still want to get. We do want to get all of them, at least one of each gen, and go from there, which that'll be something that will definitely be coming up in an upcoming video at some point, as I am getting closer. But we did, however, come away with one pickup today. Another one for the PS3 from this store, and that was Driver San Francisco. Developed by Ubisoft Reflections and published by Ubisoft in 2011, this action-adventure driving game follows Detective John Tanner pursuing escaped criminal Charles Jericho through San Francisco, but he gets hit by a semi-truck during the chase, puts him in a coma, and the entire game is basically his coma dream. Now, I remember playing the original Driver on PS1 a lot. That was one of the few PS1 games I had. For whatever reason, this has completely vanished from my collection. I have no idea where this has gone. I would like to get that fixed at some point and remedied. I will find a good copy of that. But when I saw this, I was like, you know what? I don't think this one necessarily got the best reviews, but I would like to play it. I'd like to go and at least sort of round that off, just to know where the series went to. I know that the PS1 version of Driver, at least I think it was that version, might have been the sequel, had the absolutely impossible tutorial where the tutorial was harder than the rest of the game. I've read a lot about that. I have no memory of that though, which makes me think that either my dad may have done the tutorial for me, or we could skip it, or maybe I was just like elite at this and didn't even realise. I highly doubt it's that one though. It's not going to be that one. So yeah, overall, a decent little hunt today. I wasn't out for a massive amount of things in particular. It was very much a go and see new places and see what we could find. And, you know, mission accomplished. I definitely did that with my Saturday, and it was a Saturday well spent. But yeah, from all of us here at TNF, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, press the like button and press subscribe if you want to see some more. It really helps us out. And we will have our usual talking heads chewing through topics. We will have our game hunts and video essays and all the things that we love to talk about in the gaming and collecting spaces. But enjoy yourselves, folks, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.